Welcome to That's What She Said. We are super excited today to be back at the Virginia, but we're shaking it up. Today we're on the stage. So again, we just had the show and we were so excited to have Beckie Kane in the house with us from Big Grove, who was a show sponsor and also the host of our after party. So thank you so much
Sponsored
for that.
by Sterling Wealth Management.
Yes, thank you, Sterling Wealth Management.
It was a beautiful event.
Yes.
But we want to know more than just the businesses downtown. We want to know about the people behind the businesses downtown. And so, Beckie, you've been at Big Grove for how long?
Just over 2 years. August 1st was my 2-year anniversary.
Yay. And what do you officially do there?
I am in charge of all of the private events as well as the marketing for the entire restaurant. So we have 3 private event rooms where I do a lot of rehearsal dinners and business dinners, U of I events, obviously, because that's big in the community. Really anything. It's a really nice space for parties. We love to party.
It is. You've sort of become, you are the face of young downtown Champaign.
It's been kind of crazy. I'm from Champaign, and so it's been fun to transition into a professional role.
So I know Beckie from seeing you grow up in our church, and so it's so exciting, and it's really hard for me not to be like, look at you, Beckie! But it is so exciting to see you making your way and making such a difference in your community and abroad. So you went to Haiti also, was one of the things that we have in common, and with your mom. So
so back in 2012, I was a senior in college at that time, and I got the opportunity to go with the church group, and it was a very life-changing experience, as you know. Gets me worked up every time I talk about it. But it was the one thing that I really took away from it, I think, was as soon as we landed, the sort of materialistic feeling that we have as Americans is so real in our life, and when you get there, things are just so different, and that I just feel like I shed that feeling. It didn't matter anymore when I came home. Like all the things that I was like, oh, should I pack this and leave this, and I love this shirt and all that. I was just like, I don't care, leave it. Like, not that it was really crazy. The relationships and the connections with people and the faith and all of that is so much more important than the kind of things that get in our way sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So on the last trip that Carrie and I had the great fortune of going to Haiti together, I got mocked for having night cream, skin cream. I got mocked by our traveling companions because I packed lotion. So I mean, I agree that you immediately recognize things that are important and things that aren't. And I'm not saying, that my skin is really important, but it's just, it was just a necessity, but whatever. It didn't. I completely agree with.
It's just like
with what you grasped down there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and for me to hear, because I got to talk with your mom on a follow-up trip when your mom and I were in Haiti, and listening to her, it really. I mean, I'm not a crier, and I almost squeezed out a tear. I was so close. But listening to her describe that trip with you and talking about seeing her girl in such a place of service and grace, and that was just really, I mean, like, I love your whole family, but then listening to your mom and watching her light up talk about you is always
she's an all-star.
So how does that experience affect you now in your everyday life? Like, what drives you today?
Well, I think it's something I've really been kind of doing a lot of soul searching lately, and it's something that I think about a lot. I think doing mission work, it's where I felt most comfortable and most fulfilled, and I think keeping that in mind in the relationships that I form and the sort of the priorities in my life is something that has been in the forefront of my, moving forward in my adult career and my life and my lifestyle choices and things like that.
And it shows everywhere. Like when I see you at Big Grove, I think all of those things, everything we do is connected. And I see you sort of just shining love at everybody. And I think all of those things are connected, just with the way you look at life.
It's definitely, that's my goal in my career, is to make people feel comfortable. Most of the time I'm helping mothers of grooms plan rehearsal dinners, and they're so stressed out, and they're, they want it to be perfect and all this, and I try to be, a calming person for them that handles their issues and understands what they're wanting, and just try to be nice to everybody. Everybody's going through lots of things, and just gotta make everybody.
A story.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, winning, you're doing it.
Good. I hope so.
You're doing it. You're doing it. It's so exciting to watch and sort of admire you, watching you do it, and you think you are a woman's woman. You're supportive of other people, and you started a book club.
Yeah, so about a year ago, we've just had our year anniversary, I think. Ladies, Books, and Beverages is what we call it. So we wanted to
Sign me up to
be inclusive of women. It's women only. Sorry, trying to be inclusive of all women.
We understand.
Yeah.
Women need a place, a safe
Right.
place.
Well, that's exactly
Absolutely.
why we socializing as a 20-something, you can go out to the bars and you can do that whole scene, and that's fine, but I was really thriving some deeper connections and to connect with other women. We have many people in our group that I didn't know before it, and we've grown to be very close, and it's been really cool. So, and it gets me to read, which is a good thing too. And we've read a
sometimes you
lot
need
of
that.
varieties of books, and we do little meetups, and it's just been a really powerful and meaningful thing in our.
It's so nice that you have your folks in town, and I know you're close with your brothers too, and I think that's such a help when you have someone that you can call, and when you're feeling your heartbeat out of your chest, and then to have somebody say, calm down, it's okay.
Right.
And so is that your mom?
Yeah,
for you?
I mean, definitely. I call my mom every day. Right now, she's in Montana she just had her 37th anniversary too yesterday. Yes, so they were out having a good time at one of the resorts out there. But they live out there for half the year, so I definitely get a lot of attention and love when they're here, and then I long for them when they're away. But I
Best
talk with
of
them all
both
the
the
time.
worlds. How you won that lottery. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that is, I'm very close with them. I also am very close with my 2 older brothers and my 2 sisters-in-law, which has been a huge impact in my life. They're great leaders for me and a good sort of base for when I'm having any sort of issues. I talk with them, in my book club groups and my ladies, I've got friends. I'm from Champaign, so my friends from high school are still some here, but I've also formed, gotten a lot of friends from post-college and even from college, and so it's been fun to kind of transition in this town from a little Nina to now a little 26-year-old.
And that's a unique experience to make you who you are today. I don't have that. I went from, this is where I was in elementary school, this is where I was in high school, then I went away to college, and then I've lived on both coasts, and that shaped me in a lot of ways. But there are things that I don't have because of that. I don't have a core family unit, or that those lifelong friends. So it's beautiful to see, and that you're owning it and taking advantage of all that has to offer for you. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, and now I think when you didn't grow up here, I'm so envious of people who have those kind of roots here, have their parents here. But now I'm raising townies, and so I'm excited to see.
Yeah, well, it's so fun because it's kind of a weird. When you're in high school here and in middle school, there's this idea, you got to get out, you got to get out, you got to get out. And so for a long time, I had that in my head, and I wasn't really fully taking advantage of all that Champaign has to offer. And now that I went to school here, and now I'm settled here, and things are moving in such a positive way in this town, it's so exciting. Like I'm the biggest advocate for Champaign-Urbana.
I feel a blog coming on. All that Champaign has to offer.
Yes.
I want to know more.
Yes, well, it's incredible. I mean, I just went to a tourism summit that talks about all that Champaign does with Visit Champaign County.
Nice.
And it got me so excited because there are so many things to celebrate in this town. The
I'm
Virginia
here
Theater,
going on 8 years, and I'm still
yes.
learning and seeking.
I mean, there's so much. There's so much for every interest, everybody, anything that you want to get into. If you put the effort out, you can totally find your little niche, and it's really cool.
It really, really is. We came here on the 2-year plan, and it's been 22 years. Yeah. So, but I think it's sort of a little secret, and then unless you grew up here, you might not know what a great town it is. And then we got here, and I mean, we just kept saying, like, who knew? Who knew?
Right.
I mean, it's a great town, and it's a great place to raise a family. And
Well, I'm excited to see where it's at in 10 years. I mean, I think we can see the development bursting at the seams everywhere, with the university and Midtown and downtown and all that. So it's really exciting. It's
coming
time
soon.
to be here.
Beckie Kane's Champaign. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Beckie Kane's Champagne.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Nice
we'll be
ring
back.
to
We'll
it.
do a
We'll do a
follow-up
follow-up
show.
go.
episode a year
Yeah.
from now. Let you know how
A
that
year
worked
from
out.
now.
Right?
Yep.
Well, that was perfect.
Perfect.
Becky,
Follow-up.
thank you for coming and play with us today. This has been so much fun.
Thank you
Getting
for
to know
inviting
more
me.
about Beckie Kane and the community. Who knew? And thank you guys for joining and watching us today. Tune in next week. We'll have another fabulous show for you. And until then, that's what she said.
That's what she said. Thank you to Big Grove Tavern for sponsoring today's episode at the beautiful and historic Virginia. And thank you to Columbia Street Roastery for keeping us caffeinated.